Alright guys, welcome to a new video, and in this video I want to talk about on how you can start achieving more by actually doing less. And I used to completely do, the complete opposite of what I'm about to explain here. I used to make a checklist with about 50 to 60 things and get it done on the day, and then after 12 hours of getting it done, I would still feel that I haven't done enough, right? And maybe to some of you that's relatable. And today I'm going to explain how you can actually start doing the opposite, which is not only more enjoyable, but also better for your business, right? And enjoyable, I mean in the sense of focusing on 2 or 3 things instead of 50 to 60, right? But when you focus on the 2 to 3 things, they require your focus, which then again is also something you work upon every single day, right? Knowing that we live in a world full of constant instant gratification and things that distract us. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today, on how to achieve more by doing less. But before I dive into that, I just actually wanted to mention 2 things, and that's that we have a Facebook group, a private Facebook group for everyone that is either an agency owner or a consultant. And if you are an agency owner or a consultant, I'd like to invite you to our Facebook group. It's not only a great place to get help, but it's also a community full of like-minded people that share their insights of their own business, give value to others, help others. People, find accountability partners even in this community, and it's just an amazing community to be a part of if you're an agency owner or a consultant. That's the first thing I wanted to mention. Second thing is if you are an agency owner just starting out or already have an existing agency, we have recently launched one of the best programs, in my opinion, in the market, with also incredible student results to show for it, called the Agency Autopilot Program. And I would love to just invite you to give it a glance. You can find it in the description. It's called the Agency Autopilot Program. In my opinion, we've put out the best product in the market for agency owners, with fulfillment training, how to retain clients, how to onboard them, the best automated lead generation strategies, and a lot more that you'll be able to find if you go to the link in the description, click on it, and see if it's something that could be valuable to you. Now, with that out of the way, I want to dive right into the video. So, how to achieve more by doing less? And number one is really knowing, your objective. And this will not really add a lot to, what we're going to be talking about, but this will really just serve as the foundation, right? Because if you're building a business with, no clear aim, right? So no clear goal, then you're going to have kind of a hard time of where to put the focus towards to when it comes down to tasks on a day-to-day basis, right? So it's really important to have an objective. And how to, not focus on 50 things, but only 2 or 3 is by first starting to eliminate the things that do not move the needle for your business. And when you are going from 0 to 6 figures, the only things that will do that is setting the foundations of your business, right? So knowing the market you're serving, doing your market research, putting out an offer, right? That is first an hypothesis and that has to get confirmed by the market. So setting the foundation is number 1, and then working on your mindset is number 2, generating appointments is number 3, and closing appointments is number 4, okay? Everything that isn't that, in my opinion, eliminate it, okay? Eliminate it, and you'll see about 20 to 30 tasks get removed, right? For instance, a common pitfall I see people make is just waiting, before doing any of the important stuff I just mentioned, because they're registering an LLC or, a single man business, and, just a lot of stuff building out their website or building out their VSL, just a lot of weird stuff that is not necessary, to get clients or grow your business. So everything that is not foundation setting, everything that is not mindset work, so self-education, or generating appointments and closing appointments, eliminate that directly, okay? So that's the first thing, eliminate that. Now, when you're a beginner, you'll do most things yourself. And the things I will write down right now is more for people that are at 6 figures, because when you're at 6 figures, your time becomes valuable. And you will also get, you'll have more money than you have time. So therefore you'll have resources you can leverage and actually allow yourself to work on the business and not in it, right? So you can go from that solopreneur to slowly building out a team, right? A meaningful team. So that's where you want to start looking at automation and delegation. Now, the first thing you always want to look at, in my opinion, is automation, right? Because automation just removes the entire human error it has less variables compared to a human that has to be on payroll, for instance, right? It has to have a high moral, has to fit in the team, has to understand the mission, vision, and philosophy of your company. So that's why, but the first thing you want to look at is really automation, right? So any in business or maintenance tasks you do, the question should be, can I automate this, right? For instance, the onboarding process for your agency, right? Can you automate that? Well, we have, so you should be able to as well, right? And I remember doing this very manually through email, doing like a lot of phone calls and having like a 1 to 2 week onboarding process. And now we have it streamlined. We have operations dialed into, also delegation wise to make sure that's like a great process for the client to go through, and we just like get it done in 60 to 90 minutes, right? So can you automate the onboarding process? Yes, but we also still have a human element personally to it, right? So you really can't outsource it fully, but then again, like this is different for, every agency really, and like how you want to approach that. But first thing you want to look at is, can I automate this? Number one, for, like the human error that will not be involved in there. And number two, it will have just less variables and you'll have less things to deal with when it's automated, right? You have more of like a fist to it, right? Like you can just plug it in or plug it out. It's that simple with automations. So that's the first thing. And then, for instance, now with delegation, once we hit a 20K a month mark, we started to like look at, okay, so we're constantly just focusing on getting new clients into our pipeline, following up to make sure we get them on a call and all that kind of stuff. But that took a lot of time, right? It took me like 4 to 6 hours a day to make sure we constantly got 1 to 2 new deals a week for our agency. But the thing was, I knew how to do this like at the top of my head, right? For our market and the offer we have and the client results we have. Like for us, it wasn't really that hard to get new clients, and now it's easier than ever. And as of recent, we've built out like just an entire Asana standard operating procedure for our employees that they can go through and start doing what we were doing. And I thought, this was never possible, because when you're an entrepreneur, it's kind of like hard to let go of control of certain things. Like I thought I was the best at lead generation, right? And that like kind of mentally blocked me from delegating it to someone else. But if you want to grow your company and you want to save more time so you can invest it into a higher value task, delegation is very, very crucial, right? Because in my opinion, you could automate, lead generation, but I wouldn't do it, because that human element that, in my opinion, we have with our own like prospects, like that relationship building, that providing value, can only be done through someone that's trained and know what they're doing, right? So, we're not at a point yet, I believe, in our time where we have AI bots that can do that for us. So, right now it's just delegation and training team members on our mission, vision, philosophy, and giving them the right standard operating procedures. Now, that saves me time and allows me to focus on email marketing campaigns to like new potential prospects, or just anything else that will move the needle further for us, right, in our agency. Now, as I said, it's elimination, right? Everything that's not those 4 tasks, just get rid of it, right? As well as like your goal. If it doesn't add up to your goal, just get rid of it. Now, automation. As I said, this is like the first thing you want to look at instead of delegation, because of like 2 reasons. Like it has less variables you'll have involved within your business. And number 2, there will be no human error, right? And then delegation, that's like the last resort, because when you add a human, a lot of complex variables get involved into your business, right? Like you have to keep the morale high, you have to get them on payroll, you have to keep track of their KPIs, you have to make sure they're doing the work, you have to keep them accountable, and there's just like a lot of stuff involved, right? When it comes down to getting a human in your team. So that's like in the order I do it, and also like the reason why I do it. So number 3 is add routines to your life, right? And this is like where we get to a point where we can only focus on 2 or 3 things on a day-to-day basis in our business, right? And for me, it's making content, so case studies for our clients, and managing my team, and that's it. So number 3, that's just adding routines to your life. And if you are a complete beginner, I'm just gonna talk, for if you're a complete beginner, and like how you can start doing this and create like a great baseline of a routine so you can start like, adjusting it and growing into it. So first thing I do is look at your sleep end times and look at your sleep wake times. Because if you always wake up at a different time, you're not going to be consistent in your routine, and then you can't really call it a routine, and you can't really do anything consistently, right? So you want to have consistent end and wake time. So for me, it's like 11 p.m. I'm in bed, and 11:30 my eyes are closed and I'm asleep, and 8:30 I'm awake, right? And then that way I can plan in my morning routine, I can plan in my tasks for the day for the business. I can schedule my meetings if I want to have any in the afternoon, or I have any in the afternoon. And then after that, it's just my personal life and self-education, right? So it's waking up at a consistent time. It's also my morning routine. It's the 2 to 3 things that move the needle, and that's the end of the workday, right? And then I move into self-education, or I spend some time with my girlfriend, and that's my day, pretty much, right? It doesn't seem like a lot, but that's because doing 50 things a day compared to 2 or 3 things right every single day for 365 days will have a more of an exponential effect, and also allow for longevity in your business, to be for like a year from now, right? And yourself too, because if you do 50 things a day, it's going to be kind of hard to keep that up, right? So that's like how I approach it, and how I'm still in the game, and how my agency is still growing, as well as my own education business. So that's the third thing. And then the fourth thing is focus on the money making and growth tasks. It's a really simple one, right? Like, for instance, in the agency, like we just have people that hop on calls with our clients instead of me having to do that, because at the end of the day, like, it has to get done, but at the end of the day, it's also a maintenance task, and it's not, something that allows us to make money in our agency, right? So therefore, we just have other people that are trained on how to really handle client issues, how to resolve them, how to make sure their morale is high, and all of that stuff, right? So you want to make sure to then look back at this, and then you want to focus on this to grow your business, right? And we're talking about 0 to 40K a month here, because that's like the point I'm at myself. I can't give advice to people that want to go to 7 figures, because I'm not at 7 figures yet, right? But this is really like what's helped me go from 0 to 40K a month, and now we're steadily growing, and I'm just focusing on 2 to 3 things a day that moves the needle for my own business. So guys, I hope this video was valuable to you. If you'd like to see any other specific video on the topic of an agency or mindset, let me know in the comments down below. Please leave a like, leave a subscribe. I'll be posting more daily content. And last thing, as I said, I wanted to touch on is, if you are an agency owner or consultant, I'd like and love for you to join our free Facebook group with like-minded people. As I said, we also provide daily value there. We share case studies, etc. And then lastly, we've also released, in my opinion, the best program in the agency market. So if you want to check that out, you can do it in the description. It's called the Agency Autopilot Program. Yeah, that's kind of it. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.